Anything or
Nope, not at all.
okay?
Yep. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. For this Tuesday, October 27th, 2020, I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. I'm quite aware you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesday on this week before Election Day 2020. Man, oh man. Hey guys, we have an action-packed show here tonight. I got a special guest that's going to join us, but before I bring this person on, just want to talk to you about our intentions for the show, and that never wavers, never changes here, guys. So my intention is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transition. So that's what we do here. And speaking of honest conversations, I have my special guest on the Transition Tuesdays hotline as Jacqueline is joining us. My Jasper sister is joining us. Welcome, Jacqueline. Welcome. But my special guest is joining us. Special guest, are you there, sir?
I am indeed there, brother Russ.
All right, cool. Let me bring you out the right way, my special guest. All right. Hey, so my special guest, as I get my notes prepared, because this guy has an in-depth bio I must read, so I got to do this here. So my special guest is one of the greatest Jaspers of all time. He is a Manhattan College Hall of Famer. He's one of the all-time leaders in scoring and rebounding. Hey, special guest, how many total points did you total or did you amass at Manhattan College? Do you know the number offhand?
I don't know the number offhand.
Was it at least 1,000 points?
It was, yeah. I did pass 1,000. Yeah.
Okay. What about rebounds? Did you get at least close to 1,000 rebounds too?
I got it close. I know with the rebounds it was about 100 or so shy.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, let me continue on. My special guest played professionally overseas for many years in Switzerland, Iceland, France, and Beirut. He starred in one of the best sports documentaries, Soul in the Hole. We got to talk about that tonight. He's currently an educator at the Eagle Academy of Harlem, working in scholar life. And this person here, my special guest, is one of my all-time favorite Jaspers to watch over the years, because this guy, he brought the great joy and the great enthusiasm for the game when he played for Manhattan College. So I'm sure he's going to bring that here this evening. So Transition Army, please help me welcome Mr. Jason Hoover to Transition Tuesday. My man Jason, what's up, my friend?
Hey, what's going on, Russ? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. We got Bridget joining us. What's going on, Bridget? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Oh, my man. We got Jay Hoove in the house. Let's see. We got Lance Smith joining us as well. And we also, wait a second. This is coming from Spain. We got Geronimo Puthero, your teammate, joining us on Transition Tuesday from Spain. We are international. Transition Tuesday is international. I'm loving it. They're coming out for my man Jay Hoove. And also we got the voice of the Jaspers. We got the guy who they call him the snake charmer. I think somebody called him that there, Jay Hoove. We got Chris B. Williams on the call. We got funny thing about Chris, and I'll share this story with everybody. I think Chris was paid the ultimate compliment. Somebody said, Chris is so good, he can talk a dog off a meat truck. So so we got Chris the snake charmer in the building, as he says here too. Cool. Hey, well, J-Hoove, I know you don't do this often, man, but again, I want to make you feel at home. So here's what I do, Jay. I'm going to play a song for you that I think you might feel. And in this particular, I'm going to play two cuts for you, but this particular cut right here, Jay, I'm going to play this song in which this was a group that was in the 90s. And for some reason, Jay, I just have a feeling you really felt this group, and I feel like you could have been a member of this group. So I'm gonna play this song, and you tell me what you think. All right, hold on one second. Let me play this here. All right, here, take a listen. Let me turn it up a little bit. Can you hear that, sir? What were you feeling Diggable Planets at all?
I was definitely feeling Diggable Planets. I didn't know, I guess in the balance of things, right? You had the Fugees, right? And you had Diggable Planets, so it was kind of Fugees having their success. You didn't know if Diggable Planets were like legit,
right?
A genuine article, but I dug that track. I'm cool like that, but yeah,
okay.
My head was not up like that either.
All right, I can just see Jay being Jay as the fourth member of Diggable Planets for some reason. I don't know. I maybe it's me. I don't know, man. But wait, Hoover, there's one more cut I want to play for you now. Okay, I'm gonna play this song for you because I think of you when I hear this song, and this is by a young man who's one of the greats, in my opinion, one of the top 5 lyricists ever. And I'm gonna play this song for you because you're a scholar, you're a scholar, you're an educator. So I want to play this cut for you. See if you can recognize this one here. Hold on one second. Let's get to this one. Check this out. Check this one out here.
What you doing out of school? Yo, man, they just suspended me, McBoo. Word, they suspended the teacher.
They suspended the teacher.
It's quite simple. You must learn.
Yeah, I'm definitely a KRS-One BDP disciple.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
I am.
Why do I get the feeling, Hoove, that you probably play this song in front of your students if you have the students in Eagle Academy? Why do I have the feeling that Jay is pumping this probably in his office or maybe in his classroom? I can just see that.
Yes. Why is that?
Ooh.
My philosophy.
Ooh.
Yep, absolutely. Those are on the playlist. And some kids, some of the young men, they definitely they're like, yo, what is that?
Uh-huh.
Right? But then there's others who do stop and listen to the words. So music is a crazy kind of communicator like that,
It really is,
man.
man.
Touch so many people.
Yes, it really is.
Absolutely.
Yup, and KRS-One is the teacher, and I know my man Jay Hoover is the teacher too. That's why I had to play those 2 cuts for you back to back there.
I got it. That was quite clever. Right?
I tried, man. I tried. We got Keisha joining us. Hold on one second. What happened? Okay, here we go. We got Keisha joining us from the D. What up, though? What up, cuz? How are you? We also got Tom joining us. Tom Van DeMark joining us. Welcome everybody, each and everybody. Transition Tuesdays for my special guest, Mr. Jason Hoover, is joining us. Hey, so Jay, man, a couple of things. I'm so glad to have you because again, I know you don't do these things, but again, I have to get legends on here, man. They got to tell their story, man. So people can learn so much from your story. So that's why I had to have you on. But for Jay, first off, man, how are you? I'll be remiss if I don't mention, how are you and your family coping with these 3 pandemics we got going on? We got COVID-19, we got the economy pandemic, and we also got social injustice. So how are you and your family coping with those 3 pandemics?
Well, I guess I'll try to take the easiest one first.
Mm-hmm.
This is in no way dismissing or decreasing the value of people losing their lives to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in terms of what my folks have experienced in their lives, my father is going to be 80.
Mm.
My mother just turned 76.
Wow, God bless.
So they've seen, yes, yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But they've seen how this country has developed, how the city has developed, what things have stayed the same, and what things have changed. So, in looking at it from that perspective, in respect to COVID, they're concerned about their health. They are concerned about others who are passing, who are also older, in that age range.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we've discussed in respect to how we've had about like 20 years or so, maybe 15
Yeah.
Right? But you walk the streets now, it's reminiscent of how it was in the 80s, 90s for those on the call who grew up in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's the question you asked in terms of us coping. And for myself, it's a blessing to have two people there who have seen quite a bit,
yes,
have experienced quite a bit, and have lived through quite a bit to kind of put things in perspective. The social injustice, that is a continuous battle. That's not something that will ever go, I don't believe, will not be without struggle, because this country, for the opportunity that it provides, because I can't knock it on that, right? You want to make $1, you got some hustle, you can get fed over here, as opposed to other places, right? So there is that benefit, right, in this capitalist society that we live in. But in regards to like what built the country, right, and going along the common thread of it, right, the opposite side of making money, somebody's getting exposed, somebody's getting exploited, right, and so that's going to be a continuous struggle, not only for people that, the people of the diaspora, right, of the African diaspora, but the people who are not of the diaspora, right, because there has to be an understanding that we're all just human beings.
Right, correct.
And truly just treating one another. There's going to be people who pain in the asses, and you treat those people accordingly, right? But like, you lose so much by like isolating yourself to just a particular way of thinking, or a particular, and there's so much, your life deserves so much, and you're limiting yourself. So anyway, it's something that I think, for myself, speaking for myself and my folks, it's been a moment, whether it's the COVID, whether it's the social justice, whether it's the economy, it's been a moment to pay attention.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Pay attention. So that's been the conversations going back and forth, paying attention to what you've done, and where you are at presently, because the COVID, our present health situation, it has slowed distractions down.
Right. Correct.
Now you got to deal with yourself. And that might not be that easy.
Right. Absolutely.
And then you should be talking about dealing with another person. So that's the kind of clarity it's provided for us, and that's how we're kind of handling it. Paying attention.
Understood.
Paying attention.
Understood. Cool. We have on the line here, we have watching us here, we have the all-time winningest player in the history of Manhattan College, Jamal Marshall, your teammate, joining us today as well.
This guy, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
We also got my man John Lee, my Jasper brother, joining us here on Transition Tuesdays. Oh, man, okay, all right, Jamal, and Hoover, you got to help me, man. I'm trying to get Jamal on, on the show. He's giving me a hard time. I don't know why he's trying to dodge me. It's a lot of fun as you experience it right now. Hoover, we got to work on big fella.
Yeah, we'll work on it. We gotta talk to his agent.
Yes, absolutely. I gotta see his people, right? I can't deal with him. I gotta see his people. Okay, I got that. No problem. Hey, so who, man? Where did you grow up? Are you from Manhattan originally? Are you from Harlem or no?
I'm from Murray Hill, which is
okay.
35th Street.
Okay.
I 20 East 35th Street.
Okay.
That's the building I was, born and raised in.
Okay.
I went to PS 40 and junior high school 104 on 21st Street between 1st and 2nd.
Okay.
And yeah, went to the boys club on 29th Street. Swam there, swam with their swim team before I found basketball.
Really? So you were a swimmer first? Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah. I was a bit of an oddball.
That's a good thing. Hey, odd is good. Odd is in.
Yeah. My friends they were very kind-hearted people. So I swam and I walked around in kung fu slippers like I was Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon.
Oh.
I also spoke like a like a Shaolin monk. Yeah, it was a crazy thing to witness.
Hey, did you have the black slippers? You had the black kung fu slippers? Those ones you had?
The black kung fu slippers. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Oh, man, like Bruce Leroy. Oh, The Last Dragon with the glow. All right, I hear you.
There you go.
Oh, man, we got Richie D. Roberta's joining us. We also got Tim O'Grady joining us, too, one of one of Jasper's all-time greatest players, too. Yep, a Hall of Famer as well, man. Hey, okay, so you swam first, and then you played ball. So how were you introduced to playing ball? But again, like the people don't know, your dad was a Knick legend, Mr. Tom Hoover. So how was that parallel? What introduced you to playing ball? How'd you get involved with ball? Was it your dad or?
No. My father and my mother, they definitely put energy into not supporting basketball, letting me find basketball.
Okay.
They didn't want me to play under anybody's name, the whatever pressure may come along with being the son of a former professional, an NBA player.
Right. A lot of pressure on you on that, yeah.
Yeah, so that wasn't, they wanted, if I was going to play it, it was something that I wanted to do.
Okay.
Something that that I found. I loved swimming. And I wanted to, compete in the Olympics. Crazy!
Wow,
that was a big dream of mine.
What event what event were you a specialist in? Were you any particular like freestyle or anything like that, or butterfly?
Freestyle and the backstroke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those were my strong events.
Wow.
The guy, but what I guess what took place was a couple of things, right? Between 7th and the summer going into my 7th grade year, and the summer going into my 8th grade year, and the summer going into my 9th grade year, I grew like 5 inches.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
I grew to 6'5", and then there's like the kind of like my friends are playing ball, taking ball a little bit more seriously. So I'm hanging out with them, and I'm taller, and things just kind of came along with that. The guy who put the ball in my hand, it was two guys, Doc Naselli, who was the coach of the Broncos.
Yes, that's right, Doc Naselli. I remember him. Yes.
Yeah, he operated out of the boys club, the guy who really took the time to care for me and nurture my hunger and my want to get better and to expose me to life was Gary Sims. And he ran the gym at the boys club, and he had this. Gary was a guy who helped countless young men and women, mainly through basketball, but also through other connections that he had.
Okay.
But he had the boys club had a program on Saturday, a basketball program, and you had kids coming from all over the city.
Right.
Long Island, the Bronx, Staten Island, Brooklyn, and G, as we called him, he had a pulse on all of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to bring all of these kids from all of these different various levels, backgrounds, areas,
Mm-hmm.
and basketball levels, right? So many talented kids. And so it was like a feeding pool.
Right.
You know, for kids to, Charles Jones was there.
Oh yeah.
Javon Moore, Bam, he played in that program.
Yep. You're sold in the whole cohorts, huh? Okay, I got you.
Yeah. You know, like countless guys played in that. From the older guys, the Shaka Ships.
Mm-hmm.
The Steve Walstons,
Mm-hmm.
The Corey Johnsons, you know, to us guys, the James Hectors, to us guys, and then, you know, Gary was able to bring all of those guys together, and for me playing in Brooklyn with him before I started playing with Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
that was like trial by fire, but
Right.
it was a beautiful time to be learning, a beautiful time to be young and be with somebody who could protect you while you were learning,
Yeah.
you know, in the streets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got James Randy Williams, my cousin, joining us. What's going on, cuz? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Glad having you. Hey, so you talk about you played for the Madison Broncos, and I remember them. I remember Doc. I remember that guy like it was yesterday. So I remember him. So, and again, so you had, you know, the Broncos, you had Riverside Church, you had the Gauchos. So how does a guy like yourself, obviously you couldn't play with those teams because you're playing with the Madison Broncos, but how do you wind up playing with and hooking up with Kenny Kings? How does that happen?
So I've had an opportunity to play with some what I believe to be phenomenal guards.
Mm-hmm.
I played in high school with Shandu McNeil.
Yes.
And you know, learning so much from him basketball wise. That guy is a genius basketball wise. I played with Bam, who can control a game defensively and offensively, and puts, you know, people in the right place. Tariq, phenomenal player from high schools into college. Keaton, right? Like we didn't even have to have a press. We had a press breaker that we practiced, but we never really used it because we had Keaton,
right?
You know. And I ain't play with Smooth, so like, you know, whatever, you know,
right?
That guy. But one of those guys that I didn't mention was Ed Booger Smith.
Yes.
Right?
Oh.
So Boogs played with us at the Broncos, and Kenny was Boogs' guardian.
Okay.
So, and if going back into that time frame, you had guys. You always had guys. I guess who kind of putting together these teams of younger players. But at that time, you had Mousy, right? From Uptown, just starting to like put together guys. He had like Kev Simmons. He had like, it was called Mousy's Dream Team. He had Kev Simmons and Sunshine and Kareem Reed.
Yes, back catch
you know. And so Kenny was doing the same thing, right? So at the same time.
Yeah.
So he was pulling guys, and at that time, Brooklyn, you know, in terms of the talent, it was pretty tough. Brooklyn, Queens was whether it was public school or Catholic school, right? Like those teams were pretty solid. Very, very solid.
Yeah.
And so he had the relationship with Boogs. Boogs was playing with us. So I know that's how I got involved. I believe that's also how Bam got involved. He had already had Sel and Charles Lachlan and Ford, respectively.
Right.
And had Big Kev. So
man.
kind of like we were all kind of familiar with one another,
Right.
playing, and so it made for a great experience.
Absolutely, man. So, like everybody out there, if you haven't had a chance, see the documentary "Soul in a Hole," which the central person was Booger Smith, like Jay is mentioning. But again, it really gave a breakdown of like all you guys' stories, and but it really centralized on Booger. So the question, I got two questions for you, Jay, on the Soul in the Hole documentary. It's one of my favorites, man. It's a great documentary, man. But two questions I have for you in terms of Soul in the Hole. Number one, where is Booger here now? Is he here with us now? And the second question I have is, will there be a Soul in the Hole 2?
I can probably answer that second question quicker.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Where are they now thing?
Right.
Although that would be pretty cool. I mean, we all kind of still are we are all connected.
Oh, great.
So
Okay.
we may not talk all the time with one another, but Ken makes sure that like we get together. He has something every year,
Okay.
or may have multiple things in a year where we're able to kind of pass through and see one another.
Right.
The Bugs is here,
Okay.
alive and well.
Great. Okay.
Like done.
Right.
And yeah, he's Bugs is a survivor, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's gonna be here.
Right.
He's been it's when you speak about experiences and interacting with people, this is a brother who has had to fend for himself from close to day one.
Yes.
Right, and like he's still here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a testament to like just being blessed.
Absolutely.
So Boogs is alive and well.
Okay, that's
and,
great.
He's a survivor, man. He's gonna be here.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
We got Matthew Woods joining us. What's going on, Matthew? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. And yeah, everybody out there, if you haven't seen Soul in a Hole, get that documentary, man. It is the greatest thing. And it's like kind of like a period piece type of deal. But again, you can relate to the characters. You can relate to my man, Jason Hoover, all types of people. It's taught about Booger Smith, obviously. But again, the journey that these guys went on for a summer. They was knocking out all bums, it looked like, just beating everybody, man. This team in Brooklyn, man. So that's good stuff. Hey, so let's do this, Hoo. Let's transition a little bit. So I know you play, Kenny Kings and everything. So now I want to get to how you were able to go to Malloy, because you're from Manhattan, but you go to school out in Queens, and Archbishop Malloy, man, from the famous coach Jack Curran. So how did you wind up at Malloy High School? And before you answer that too, Hope, I also got a story I'm gonna share with you about Malloy High School that I almost went there after Powell Memorial closed, but I'll share that story a little later. But talk to me a little about Malloy, your journey at Malloy High School. How'd you get there?
So I guess that ninth grade year. So my junior high school, 104, went up to ninth grade.
Okay.
And so I stayed in there as a ninth grader. So that summer after my eighth grade year into my ninth grade year, there was a fast development.
Okay.
There was a fast development in my basketball skills.
Right.
And you're playing at these different places, and high schools are coming to scout, and LaSalle was a consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was of course, Brooklyn Tech. I had taken the test, and that was a consideration as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the swimming was still on the table because there was an academy where they trained people. Mm-hmm. come back and do another workout for 2 hours, 3 hours, and they had like a long list of junior Olympians and Olympians swimmers going through that program. So that was still on the table.
Okay.
But I played with Doc, and Doc had a relationship not only with Lincoln, but he also had a relationship with Bob Hurley at St. Anthony's.
Okay.
So so I went over there. They used to work out in White Eagle Hall. And it was like this bingo hall. they would like roll this hoops out, and this thing was like, it was weighted down with like sandbags. So if you dunk too hard, like it would move or whatever have you. It was crazy, man.
Right.
It was a little hot box. So I went over there and worked out with the guys, and Hurley was like, yeah, we could use him. So I enrolled in St. Anthony's. And it was like a culture shock in terms of how serious basketball could be. And Coach Hurley gave me a playbook. Now I'm used to running like Georgetown and ice cream,
ice cream, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not at the high school level, so
right.
I'm used to running, like. You're running the same plays everywhere you go, so there was definitely a habit that I was used to and comfortable with, and I got this playbook, and it was like a binder, and it was just like what's going. So that was my introduction. At that time, they were coming off being #1 team in the nation.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
That Roger Rhodes was a junior. Danny Hurley was a junior. Jaleel Roberts, Rashawn McLeod. More could name Billy Bush. Right. They had Woodrow. They had like some. They had some thoroughbreds.
Some heads, yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, and so I enrolled in the school. And started out at St. Anthony's, and everything is kind of running smooth. I'm getting acclimated to things, basketball-wise, and the commute.
Definitely that commute was probably a tough one, right?
Yeah, well, I grew up on 35th, and the PATH train, I just would walk to the mall.
Okay.
It wouldn't be open, but, you walk. They would have that PATH area open, and you walk downstairs, take the PATH train, get to school, or whatever.
Okay. Okay.
But I think what took place was that in terms of what I have been learning in 104, I was kind of skating. I was skating in St. Anthony's. Right. And my folks were, although they didn't push me into ball, they were also hypersensitive about ball being all and not being educated enough to be able to fend for myself if ball did not work out. Okay. And so there was the conversation of taking me out. And so one of the other schools besides LaSalle was Poly Prep. Okay. But in terms of we didn't have Poly Prep money. Right. Yeah. and the award, I had gotten a financial award from the Boys Club. Actually from Bill Cosby. He had written an endowment or something like that, and so you could like apply for this thing. So the money I got from that, it wasn't enough to cover Poly Prep. Right. And so when the St. Anthony situation came up, when they were deciding, my pops reached out to the coach, and the coach said, "Well, Malloy is a good program, and both balance of academics and athletics." Absolutely. And my pops, when he was in high school, had played against a Jack Curran coach team. Wow. So he was kind of familiar with with the balance. We got to the school and academically from what they showed us, it was top notch. I had no idea it was all boys.
Right.
So I was like, yo, I asked my pops, I was like, yo, would these girls have a different like schedule? Because I wasn't used to that, right?
Right.
And he had, I don't know if he just told me, just so that I wouldn't throw a fit,
right,
or what. But he left, and I ended up playing with the guys later on that afternoon.
mm-hmm.
And on the train back home, I remember being like, yo, what happened? Like, I didn't see any girls. And they were like, yo, what, man? This is old Roy school.
Right.
And they looked at me like I had all 4 heads on. So, but yeah, Archbishop Malloy was one of those, it was a time for adjusting.
Absolutely.
That's how I got to Malloy, because culturally,
mm-hmm.
Academically, athletically, right? Because Curran, he had a whole lot of knowledge and he was a great teacher.
Absolutely.
And there was a lot you had to pick up if you wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a learning experience.
Absolutely. Hey, Jay, I'm gonna share with you a story about Malloy, Archbishop Malloy. Now, I went to Powell Memorial Academy my freshman year in '84, and then after the school closed, I had to transfer. So I wound up transferring to McClancy. But before that, I went on like a tour for the different schools. So I went to go Christ the King. I saw Lever, Christ the King. But I also made a stop at Malloy. And I was really close to going to Malloy. I don't know why I didn't go. I guess, it was like, they were stacked. I knew that for a fact, with Malloy. But it was really close. I was really giving it a thought because of the legendary Jack Curran, playing there. But I didn't go there. But there's 2 things I remember about Malloy High School. And maybe this might, jog something in your memory too. First thing about Malloy High School was that gym, that court, that bouncy court, and the echoes. Like, it was a different echo in your gym at Malloy. I don't know what it was from all the other gyms. I don't know what it was, but the acoustics in that place was, I don't know what the hell it was. I don't know what it was. But at the gym. And also, another thing I remember, too, about Malloy was how you guys, at lunchtime, you guys didn't have any chairs, right? You stood up for lunch, right?
Yeah, well, when I got there, I think it was the year prior, they had just instituted sitting down lunches. Yeah, but prior to that, they had the high tables and you had to stand while you ate your lunch.
Yes, yeah. I remember that because the cafeteria is right near the gym area. So we used to, when we passed by, we used to see them, be like, wait a second, there's no chairs in the cafeteria. What the hell's going on? But the big ass tables. So I was like, wow, they stand up and eat. I was like, wow, that's crazy, man. But and another story too I have with Malloy. I remember when we played Malloy at the gym, and I remember I hit a half court shot to end the 3rd quarter. And I remember the whole crew, like the fans was, because they right on top of you there at Malloy.
Yeah.
And I remember the fans, they was just singing to me, happy birthday to you, when I made that. Like in unison, it was like, oh my God, come on, y'all. Man, but Malloy High School, man, great memories. My man Matthew Woods says, my brother went to Malloy. Okay, cool, there you go. Yep, a lot of people went to Malloy. Didn't the Cuomos graduate from Malloy? Chris Cuomo and Marion Cuomo?
Chris and the governor.
Yep, I see that. Yep. Look like he had some game too, Chris Cuomo. I don't know. We'll see. man. We got Jerry Ryan joining. What's going on, Jerry? And also we got Meg Fashella joining us here on Transition Tuesdays. And that's gonna So let's transition. Speaking of we got Miss Fashella on here. Let's transition to Manhattan College, right? So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Manhattan College days. So before we do that though, how was your recruiting like for you there, Jay? What schools took a look at you? What schools were on your list, and why'd you choose Manhattan College?
I had a few Ivy League schools, and I guess I don't know the makeup of it now, but they called it mid-major back then. So there was St. Joseph's, Delaware,
okay,
Manhattan, Vanderbilt.
Okay.
But I had a teammate of mine was like, "Yo, be serious, man." I think in respect to the Ivy League schools, I didn't have I didn't have the confidence in myself.
Okay.
There was a mysticism about Ivy League that I felt like I wouldn't have been able to be prepared for the balance of academics and athletics. Even coming from Malloy. I didn't have that confidence, and I was able to do it in Malloy, but it was it was a big adjustment, and I just didn't have that confidence. I think it was mystified. Because you go to school and then you get through your 4 years and you talk to people and you're like, we had the same classes. Like, what? It's not that big. It's not that big of a deal. But as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, it's like, that was what I couldn't process that. And and Marquette.
Okay, Marquette too. Yeah. Okay, that's a big one there too.
That was Kevin O'Neal.
Okay.
It was Fran has this energy.
Right, I was gonna ask you, how did you land at Manhattan College? Yeah, and before you answer that, Jay, we got Shannon Breslin Brendel joining us. She is one of the all-time greats at Manhattan College. Great having you here, Shannon. We also got Carrie Madden Quinn joining us, another Jasper sister joining us. But you were talking up, Jay, about the magic, the energy that Coach Fran has, and I had Coach Fran on here a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, he's that magical guy. I don't know how he got you guys to all buy in and go to Manhattan College and compete for, playing time. I don't know how they did, but it must be the energy that you're about to talk about.
Well, I think that there's a Fran definitely has a skill set, right? And the energy is a part of it. And that energy is contagious, and that energy is is reflective of the underdog who is always fighting, right? Like that cliche, right? And I think to his credit, right, he was able to recruit and connect with guys that felt like, no disrespect to Manhattan College, but like that felt like they could play at a higher level.
Correct.
Right. If you're speaking of and not only felt that they could play at a higher level, but could play at a higher level.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So being able to identify those type of personalities, right, and those type of talents, and being able to say, hey, we're going to be in this war together, right? I think that it's one of his talents.
Yeah,
and we were always prepared. We were always prepared.
Right.
Now, my teammates, they're going to definitely, there were definitely times I forgot I missed assignments and didn't do what was supposed to go on in the play.
Right.
Right. But that we were prepared. It didn't mean that that wasn't because of we didn't watch enough film and we didn't do enough walkthroughs. So I think for people who are used to kind of putting their head down, like seeing a goal and putting their head down and working until it gets done.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was he had a talent for picking those people and putting them together. So it was sort of like an organic kind of thing.
Right, absolutely. Like, not forced at all. It was organic.
Not forced at all. You have Reek, a 6'2" guard who could do score and distribute and play well. And defensively. In terms of the guys he brought in, right? You have Brendan, who was going to go to the Cuse.
Really, I didn't know that. Okay, Brendan O'Brien. Okay,
yeah, Brendan was that. Yeah, we met Brendan at ABCD camp in California. That was like Converse's answer to Nike camp after Sonny Vaccaro left Nike. And Brendan was a monster, man. He didn't play down low. He was a 3.
Wow. Okay, man.
Yeah, man. He was serious. He definitely adjusted his game for Manhattan College. But like Brendan in high school was what you see now. 6'9" guys running up and down, being able to shoot, being able to put the ball on the floor, all those kind of things. Yeah. So I think that. So then you have that. And then you got Nemo, right? Who was already a professional, right? Yeah. But he's going through his own challenges of adjusting to life away from his family, and also life in a new country, where his English is limited. So you got all of these guys, right? And you put them also with guys who are used to, who are already there, who are used to kind of plugging away, because my understanding, Siena was reigning supreme, with Doremus Beneman and before that I guess it was LaSalle. So there was these guys already in place, right, with Lapis and whatnot, who were used to the grind, and then you bring us in there who are used to like being under the trying to work our way up. Right. And like it was organic. It was you play after school, and you play after school, and you're playing on these teams, and they'll have 2 Americans or 3 Americans, right? And you talk with the Americans, and they talk about their college experience, and they don't like those guys they played with.
Right.
Yeah. I played with a guy once that we were playing against another team, and he was like, man, I transferred because of this guy.
Wow.
And I can't, my experience was the total opposite. Yeah. In terms of, we might not all speak, but like the camaraderie that we share, the personality traits that was the common thread amongst us of kind of working ourselves to the top. The reason why it worked out organically. Those things are very dear to all of us, and we stay in contact with one another because that time provided a love, right, a caring for one another, and a thankful kind of experience that we're able to continue.
Absolutely, yeah. We got Philip Pernice joining us. We got McClancy's finest joining us in the baseball and joining us. What's going on, Philip? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Jay, I've talked with Smooth a lot about this, and we talked about how, the type of player in which Coach Fran brought in. Like, it really kind of started with like a pro. Like Keith Bullock was a pro, so he established that pipeline like professionals. But I think Franny really turned the corner with bringing in guys like yourself who, maybe they didn't play on the high end, like the St. John's or whatever. But I think Franny had it in mind, like me and Chris talk about, is he was bringing in professionals to play, like the professionals on Manhattan College campuses, like yourself, who went to play professionally. You got Justin Phoenix, who I had on here last week. These guys professionals. So Franny was bringing in that culture of bringing in professionals onto the campus of Manhattan College, not necessarily NBAs, but professional guys who play ball overseas. And I think that was the really changing point for the program. You agree on that, there, Jay?
I think that there was a it's a combination of bringing the guys in, right, of having the talent, but then also the exposure, right, and the timing of things, right. So the sophomore year we were a very good team, right?
Yes.
But we didn't do what we needed to do, right? And in terms of closing out the MAC season, right, with the championship, right? But like we had the opportunity. Was granted to us, and we made good on that opportunity that was provided for us. So it's like it is a combination, I believe, of the timing, the talent, and then also the exposure, right? There's Fran has a relationship with Calipari, right? They're kind of like peers, kind of coming up in the game, right, together, and so that relationship that matures into Shimu and Travis working Kentucky basketball camp, right, and getting exposed to playing against those guys, right, which then in turn when Fran left, there's the easy lead up for Shimu to transfer to Kentucky. Yeah. Right. So you have these. Yeah, it's a combination of the perfect storm and the perfect timing for that development. I hope I answered your question.
No, absolutely. No, you absolutely did. No doubt about it. We got Annette Smith joining us from the D. What up, though? What up, cuz? Thank you for joining us here on Transition Tuesdays. Love having you. Yeah, hey, so Jay, man. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about Manhattan College in a minute, but here's the question I have for you, Jay. Is like when you played, man, you played with so much joy and enthusiasm. Like it seemed like you were like if you had to play for free, like no meal money, no whatever, I think you'd be out there playing. You just brought that joy and enthusiasm, man. The crowd really felt on your energy that you brought and everything. So where did that come? Like where did you pattern your game after? Did you? Because Jay, I know you wore number 4, right? So did you pattern your game after Chris Webber? Because that's how I kind of envision you playing when you played at Manhattan College, like the athleticism, the enthusiasm. Did you pattern your game after Chris Webber? Was that the reason why you wore number 4, or am I off a little bit on that? Well, talk to me a little about that, Jay.
I think that I would be remiss, right, to state that like the Fab Five did not have an effect on all of us playing ball, right?
Absolutely.
I think that definitely contributed to us like requesting to wear black sneakers my freshman year, and so they definitely there was an influence there. But my favorite player, Charles Barkley was my favorite player.
Charles Barkley, okay.
Learning how to play.
Okay.
And then that turned to Larry Johnson and Derek Coleman.
Oh, okay. Oh, so Larry Johnson won number 4 too. Oh yeah, DC number 44. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So 44 was my number in high school.
Okay.
Because of my love for Derek Coleman. And then it's not like now, where you come in and you be like, yo, can I have this number?
Right.
The Gastonia's finest for 44.
Donnie Elliott, huh?
So, Donnie Elliott. So I have to choose another number. He's talking about being humbled early.
Right.
Like, yo, I can't even wear my number.
Right, because we know Donnie Elliott, and I know damn well he wasn't giving up that number. You had to come up with a bribe or something. I don't know with that guy.
Yeah, so that's why I chose 4.
Oh, okay.
That's what I played when we played AAU or or in the park or whatever. Yeah, 4 was my number.
Okay.
Sam didn't take it.
Gotcha.
That was his number.
Gotcha, man. And like I tell you all the time, who is like, hey, look, and like if you were, let's say, if you like Derek Coleman size 6'8", 6'9", I would know you because I know you wouldn't have been attending Manhattan College. You know what I mean? So by you coming into the school, man, you like always one of my favorite players, man, because you got your team going. You got yourself going. You got the crowd going. It's just with so much passion and enthusiasm, man. You know, that's the thing that I marvel. That's the thing, you know, that's why you're one of my favorite players, you know, watching the Jaspers there. Hey, so Jay, man, what are some of your, like, fondest memories as a Jasper playing at Manhattan College? And Jay, before you answer that, we got Buthero. He said, ask you about the Hoover maneuver. What's that all about, Jay?
That was who was that? Was I might be messing this up, but it was either Moose.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah. So or I don't know. Maybe one of those guys could tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who made it up.
Okay.
Right, but it was something that I guess caught. It was something that started in the crowd. Okay. One of the alumni would say Hoover maneuver, right? When I would make a move or something like that.
Okay.
And then the guy, our commentator, they picked up on it, right? The house, the Dratty speaker.
Right.
Yeah. So Nemo's a clown. You hear me right now, man? Go to bed. He's supposed to be asleep right now.
I know, right?
Yeah, man. Go to bed, man.
Oh, he had to bring that up, Jay. He had to bring that up, man. Hey, so you got the Hoover maneuver, which is a fond memory. Do you have any more memories of Manhattan College being a Jasper?
I definitely, you know, the overall experience of spending time with those guys, whether it was, Don for only a year, right?
Right.
To Keedy and Ted and Phoenix, right, and the kid.
Yes.
right, and just and the guys I came in with, and then Shimu and Stevie, and I think like that overall experience of being in a special moment,
right,
and sharing that special moment with these guys, you know, that's something overall that is my favorite experience of choosing to go to Manhattan. Of course, there's the beating Oklahoma.
Yeah.
There's the
probably scoring 1,000 points, I would imagine. I mean, you score well more than 1,000 points. We score like 1,300 or 1,400, something like that, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it was definitely more. Just that overall feeling of being in a brotherhood, being in a part of a family.
Gotcha.
You have those other experiences that kind of add to it. You know, my senior year was not reflective of the first 3 years that we had.
Yeah.
And that was humbling.
Right.
That was extremely humbling, and it was needed for my growth, I guess, right? And for all of our development.
Absolutely.
I think it provided a key for us. I think I think that that might
I got one more moment for you there, Hoove. How about being inducted to the Jasper Hall of Fame? How was that feeling for you, man?
No, that was absolutely a blessing, and
well deserved too, I might add. Let me tell you that off the jump.
Thank you. It was nice to feel appreciated.
Yeah.
In that way, yes. And that I was able to share it with the people that supported me. So it was, and those who were able to be there, and those who unfortunately couldn't be there.
Right.
It was a testament to their investment in me.
Absolutely.
And it was, I was happy to and appreciative of the honor. Yeah, so that definitely ranks up there.
No doubt. Cool.
Yeah.
We got Ron Niclario, one of the Hall of Fame high school coach, and Cardoza joining us here today. We also got my cousin Zetta Harris joining. What's going on, cuz? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Everybody, as we're talking with our good friend Jay Hoover here going on, man. Good stuff. Hey, so Hoover, man, now I want to fast forward a little bit because we talk about basketball, we don't talk about the Jazz, because I know you played professionally overseas, I know, which was a great thing. But I want to talk about what you're doing now, which I'm really thrilled to talk, hear you talk about. You're in scholar life at the Eagle Academy of Harlem. So talk to me about that, man. Talk to me about education, you being an educator now, man. Like, what are some things that are rewarding for you as an educator?
I think that yeah, instinctually it's my I love I love people.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that they can, they still have an open road to who and what they can become.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And there were many people in my life who provided safety and exposure and love and care.
Right.
And I grew up with people with brothers and sisters of mine, right, who did not have that.
Right.
And many of them, to a testament to their spirit and soul, they've been able to. They are survivors. They've been able to survive with very little, making themselves up from mud.
Right.
Right. And I know how fortunate I was, and in terms of the lessons. The lessons that I had to learn hard, right? They didn't go too far left,
right?
And I think growing up in New York City during the 80s and 90s, and you can attest, it was not easy.
Not an easy thing,
and,
nope.
and I see, and it was very, violent. So I think just having those blessings and being mindful of them and appreciative of them, like it's like your job is to provide that. Your job is to provide that as much as you can.
That's the reward. And that's the reward that you see.
That's the absolute reward for me. So like instinctually, it's the love, but there's going back to earlier with KRS-One.
Yes.
Right. There's an importance. There's a value on education, and I don't mean just like passing this test and then going to this school or getting this job. I mean, all of those things are beautiful all in themselves, right? But like educating yourself to be as best as you can, because the time that you got to use this time wisely.
Yeah.
and so it's your job. Like you have to earn the right to close your eyes.
Yep.
And you getting this time right now, so you need to be able to kind of like expose yourself as much as possible. And I feel like those things are education, right? Embracing other cultures, looking into different things, learning about how different things work, and then being able to pass that importance on to somebody else.
Yes.
because
Definitely.
there's a lack of we have become very sheepish
Yeah, and
in our
lax.
thinking,
Yeah.
you know, and so and because of that, you know, people struggle. People
Yeah.
are going to struggle like that. That lax puts you in a hole.
Yeah.
But to be frank, you know, for young people who look like you and me, Russ, that hole is always going to be deeper.
Yeah.
And that hole is always going to resemble a crater, right? So like,
Yeah.
if you've got the knowledge, you know, you and it's in your heart, then you pass it on, and it's easy. Like that's just how it flowed for me. I didn't have to search for that.
Right.
That was there.
Gotcha.
So I'm blessed in that.
That's great, man.
that.
Yeah, it's like an each one teach one that you have with teaching, which is great, man. Hey, Hoover, man, I got one more question for you, and I want you to. This is a tough question. I mean, not a tough question, but it's it's gonna provide some thought on this question I have for you, man. And it's a 3-parter. So, what drives Jason Hoover to be the best when he played basketball? You know, when he now as a educator and as a Afrocentric black man, like what drives you to be the best in those fields in which you are or which you was, like in basketball? Like what drives you to be the best in which to do what you do? We can take basketball first.
My ego.
Okay. Your ego or lack of ego? Like, is it?
I think it's a balance of there's a humility, right? But there's also your ego drives you, and like I playing ball, I didn't want anybody to ever say like, yo, I bust his ass.
Right. Gotcha.
Absolutely not.
Right.
That was something that, like if it happened, I mean, it happened, right? So, but like, it wasn't going to be because I wasn't going to play hard.
Right.
Like it just wasn't going to happen that day for me. That's what I had to make peace with. I think, so that's ego. I think, I'm very aware of my blessings. I'm very aware of how things could not have been like this.
Yeah.
From before I was born to my life, right? My 44 years.
Right.
And those things are vivid to me. And so I think that my awareness of those of the balance of life, right? That for my ego, it's like you got this knowledge that these youngins don't have, right?
Yes.
And you need to provide it, right? So again, it's the ego, but it's I think I don't want you have this. We're in the land of opportunity. This is not a plug for the United States, right?
Right.
We're in the land of just for. We're in the land of opportunity.
I hear you. Yep, right? I know what you mean.
And this life is an opportunity. An opportunity to do something, an opportunity to leave something, right? And you can decide if it's going to be nothing or it's going to be, some monstrosity like some people choose, or it's going to be beautiful.
Right.
And you got that choice. However the package might come, right? So I think that, it's just, you have this opportunity, and you're not paying respect to the opportunity of life if you're not doing your best.
Yep.
And if somebody can say less of you, right, and you question, right, that means you're not doing what you're supposed to. Because if you're doing what you were doing, what you were supposed to be doing, then those people's ideas wouldn't bother you.
Absolutely.
They just talking garbage.
Right. You giving it your all.
Have confidence. Because you're able to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I did the best I could.
Yep.
I did the best I could. So I think, it's the short answer is ego, Russ. And I think, it pushes, what do I want people to say about me when they say, are they going to sing about me, or are they going to just be like, I don't know how I could talk on this.
No, you can say it. Hey, man, this is free reign. You can say how you feel, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's about wanting a legacy.
Yes.
Right? Whether it's an experience somebody had with you that turned you around to a different way and you change things up for yourself, or a teacher, or whatever form it comes in. I feel like we're blessed to have experiences and to be able to share them with people and share love and care. It's it's the ultimate thing.
Yeah, man.
Ultimate thing.
Yeah, and a guy like you, Jay, man, you never shortchanged yourself when you played. You never shortchanged the people who watched you, on that end. You always gave it your all, your effort on the court, off the court. You're doing that now. You never shortchanged. It's never a situation be like, oh, if I would have gave a little bit more, nah. You were that type of guy, Jay, who gave it his all, who left it on the court. So I could imagine how you are as an educator. I would imagine you're part of that each one teach one type of feel, in which you're giving your all to these students, these younger people, so they can subscribe for greatness, in which you are great in doing that. So I salute you, Jay. On that, man. I every time I get a chance to talk to you, man, I always appreciate talking to you, man, because you pass on so much knowledge to me when I'm talking just like general conversation, man. And I really appreciate it. And again, I know you don't do this, Jay. I know this, man. So I'm so thrilled to have you on, man. And again, your platform, you can come on this show anytime. We could talk hoop, we could talk soul in a hole, we could talk Afrocentric things, items. We could talk it all, man. But I gotta have you back, man, Hoove, man. And again, man, I appreciate you for coming on and telling us your story, because your stories need to be told, in which it was today. And I appreciate that, my man.
Thank you, Russ, for the opportunity and to be on your show, Transition Tuesdays. Transition Tuesdays. I'll say it one more time for the plug. Transition Tuesdays. Check in on Tuesdays to transition, whatever transition you in transitioning to. Tune in on Tuesdays.
There you go.
For Transition Tuesdays.
Absolutely. And we got to work on the big fella. You and I, we got to double team him in the post, man. We got to get him on this show.
That guy, man, artists, they're temperamental.
Yes.
They're moody folk.
Yes.
So, you have to wait for the artist to be able to, when he feels right. So you just have to practice some patience there, Russ.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. We'll get him on. We'll get that Jasper double team on him. We'll get him in the post. We'll create a turnover. We'll get him on.
All right, then. Cool.
Cool. Thanks again, Jay, man. Love having you on, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay.
Take care. Blessings to all of y'all. Peace.
Absolutely. Peace, man. That was Jason Hoover, one of Manhattan College's finest, joining us today. Great interview. We got, Jacqueline says, great show. Appreciate that, Jacqueline. Thank you so much. We also have Janine joining us, one of my Jasper sisters joining us. Welcome all. Appreciate that. Man, that was some good stuff. Good stuff hearing from Jay Hoover. Man, oh man, great stuff. Well, guys, as you know, as we transition before we head on out, want to talk briefly about, we got in less than a week, 7 days 7 days, guys, the election on November 3rd. And, some people have been like over 60 million people have early voted. I'm one of them. I early voted. Did you early vote yet? Did you go? Did you? If not, you got to do that. You got to take care of that before the 3rd, okay? But again, if you didn't, that's okay. You have the 3rd to vote. But again, I early voted. Again, over 60 million people already have early voted. And here's my scenario I will pass on to everybody who hasn't voted yet and maybe thinking about voting. And, I know you're going to vote. So, that's a civic duty. You got to do that. But again, I really propose to everybody, you have a plan, you have a game plan when you're voting. And again, if you're doing absentee voting, take the initiative to do that. I know some people who voted out of state did absentee voting. Instead of mailing it in, what they did is they mailed it to their friends so they can put it in the absentee box. That's a great strategy. That's a great plan. So you can do that. You can early vote. It just started here in New York City. Started on Saturday, which I was the first person. I voted on Saturday, so I got that done. Or you can also vote on election day too. But make sure that whoever you vote for, again, just go out there and vote. We got to vote like our lives depends on it, because it actually does in this particular case. It actually does. And again, having a game plan, like for example, there's probably going to be long lines if you wait on the 3rd, or if you early vote, or if you wait on the 3rd, it's probably going to be long lines. So again, a plan might be to just like watch your liquid intake, all right? Because a lot of times in these polling places, there might not be a bathroom. So just be careful with that. Be mindful of that. And also make sure you eat something too before you get on these lines, because it could be long lines. So make sure you're diabetic, take your insulin, what have you. But make sure you eat before you go and vote. It's very important. So that's where you're establishing a game plan. And again, like for me, and the thing I'll share with you guys is, in this election, it's a very important election, but vote your conscience. I think, when the bottom line is when you're in that booth, you're going to vote. You should vote your conscience. You know what I mean? And that should get you over the top of who you're going to vote for. But again, just make sure you get out there and vote. Make sure you get out there and vote. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, or think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. Okay? Let me hit this here real quick. Man, great show today. And again, I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for you watching Transition Tuesdays each and every Tuesday. Shout out to my man Jason Hoover for coming on today. Now, you guys got to keep this in mind. Jay doesn't do a lot of interviews at all. He has a great, amazing story, which you guys heard. So again, shout out to you, Ho, for coming on, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And also, guys, if you guys aren't following me already, I can be followed on Instagram at rwilltransitions with an S. You can always follow me. You can also get my book, Transition Game Plan, Simple Steps to Achieving Personal Success. If you have a copy already, I thank you for purchasing my book. If you can, guys, maybe get a second one. Or, hey, some people need to get the book. The book is available. You go to Amazon.com, or you can always inbox me, and I can get a signed copy to you ASAP. I can do that for you, okay? Now, also, see the picture right there? That's from my daughter, Anissa Williams, and she's on Facebook, Art by Anissa. You can get artistry just like this and many others when you go there. And I'll be remiss. Anissa's birthday, her 16th birthday is tomorrow. So, sweetheart, from the bottom of my heart, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I'm going to be talking to you tomorrow, but I just want to reach it out, put that out in the universe. You're going to have a great 16th birthday. I can't wait to talk to you about that. And guys, if you guys want to get my daughter Anissa a birthday gift, go to Art by Anissa. Snatch up one of those portraits, okay? That'll be a great gift. That'll be a great gift to my daughter. So that's a great thing too. So guys, as we always say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. And also, last thing before I forget, next week we're going to have a special edition of Transition Tuesdays, okay, which is going to be the election day. Hopefully I have a guest on. But if not, we're going to rock out. We're going to have some fun. We're going to vibe. We're going to get through this process together. for the selection day on November 3rd. So again, I will be on the air. Same time, same station. Take care, everybody. God bless you.